Picture this. You go to a dinner party, you're having the time of your life, you're meeting new people, you are mingling, you're drinking, you're eating, you're just having a good time. But everyone at this party knows you're gonna die except you. Hi sweeties, if you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. All your support is appreciated. My name is Araya, and today I will be telling you guys the story of Joe, Clinque, and Anu Singh. Before we get into this video, go ahead and subscribe for more true crime bedtime stories. I'm so excited to start the series because I love a good true crime. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. Joe met Anu during an outing that he attended. I don't know exactly what type of outing. I'm guessing it's like a party, maybe some type of party, or you know, something like that. He met her during an outing in 1995 in Newcastle. She was a 22-year-old undergraduate at the time, and she was studying to get her law degree. Because of her law degree, she had to move to Canberra, which is in Australia, and she was going to attend the Australian National University. The couple ended up being long distance due to her moving to Canberra. Joe would go visit Anu as you would in a long distance relationship. According to the research that I've done, he started to really start visiting her more often because of her mental health and her mental state, it's a whole thing, let's talk about it. It was stated that Anu had actually been experimenting with amphetamines. I hope I said that right, because if I didn't say that right, I'm gonna be mad. I worked hard on that word. She was experimenting with amphetamines, which made her very paranoid. It was at one point she thought that her whole head was on somebody else's body type of paranoid. We're not talking about no cute little, oh I see clowns, oh I see colors. No, we serious. Like, she saw her whole head on somebody else's body. She felt like things were crawling into her skin. Anu was very obsessed with her physical appearance. She actually developed bulimia. I heard this word before. I can't stand when I can't pronounce something, but bulimia, I'm gonna just put on the screen of what it was. She would spend hours and hours in the gym pushing the limits, and it got to the point where she actually started taking Epicac, a medicine you take to basically throw up, and she was using that to lose weight. I've actually heard of Epicac. If you watch the movie Minor Details, you know that in the movie the girl actually put Epicac in people's drinks and stuff to basically make them throw up so her dad can make more money off his vending machines, because people didn't want to eat the school lunch because they thought the Epicac was basically the school lunch making them. It was the whole thing. If you watch Minor Details, you know what I'm talking about. It was later said by Anu herself that it was Joe who actually gave her the idea to use Epicac to learn to make her body look good. His parents, like, he would never do that. He would never do that. The Joe we know would never do that. Speaking of Joe's parents, it was also said by Joe's parents that Anu was very attention seeking. Anytime he was in a conversation with his parents, she had to make it about her. His attention couldn't be on anybody else or anything else for too long, because then she would start trying to gain that attention from him. They also said that they started to notice changes in Joe because of Anu, like him giving all of his attention to her, being at her every need, bowing down to her whenever she needs it. When they told Joe how they felt about the situation, about her telling him that basically they don't want him to lose himself trying to be there for her every need, Joe responds, "I love you, but she needs me." Just the fact that he said, "I love my parents, but she needs me," like, he didn't deserve it. Later on, Joe ends up moving to Canberra with Anu to be with her full time. Anu's mental health actually got worse over time. It was actually said that she believed she had HIV, and she was very upset that Joe didn't have HIV, and she confided in a few, can I say confided? Is it confided? That's what I'm gonna say. She confided in a friend about how she wanted to take her infected blood, and put it on his toothbrush so he can contract it too, contract it too, which really was like, you know how nasty that is? Imagine you put your blood with HIV positive blood in there on his toothbrush, in his mouth. Y'all can never. She also confessed to her friend that she wanted to kill people. She wanted to go on a little rampage. She wanted to go on a little killing spree and kill Joe. She wanted to kill her ex-boyfriend Simon, which I don't even know where Simon even came from. What Simon do, Stink? She wanted to kill her ex-boyfriend Simon. She wanted to kill Joe, and she also wanted to kill all the doctors who could not cure her of her mental health issues, which I just feel like, Stink, it ain't much you taking the drugs. I don't know. You're crazy, Stink. So at this point, Joe is starting to realize what his parents are talking about. And obviously he doesn't know about the whole she's killing me, she wants to kill me type of thing, you know what I mean? But he's starting to realize the attention seeking and the constant need for his attention, you know what I mean? Like he's sick of it. He's sick of her shenanigans. Basically, he starts to distance himself away from her. It was also said that like he bought a new car and she kind of started to put two and two together and get four and was like, oh, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to get away from me. He started to, you know, care more about his appearance. He bought himself a new car, which is what made her start to realize what he was doing. You know, he was planning on leaving her basically. And they say that, you know, when men start to really care about themselves and they're trying to get them in a little boo, and she basically peeped that, and this is where everything starts to go downhill. Anya started to have these suicidal thoughts. She started to confess to her friends that she wanted to kill herself. She wanted to end her life. So she was going to shoot herself and just be done with it. She ended up meeting this well-known drug dealer on campus, and he introduced her to heroin and basically gave her the right amount to be able to do that. So she bought half a gram, and he taught her how to shoot it up properly, and then she left. And when she left, she was going to do it. And then she came back and got another gram. He like, why you need another gram for? Like, what you trying to do? She like, somebody's coming with me. So at this point, she goes to her friend. She basically told her about a suicide pact that she had with Joe. So basically, they was going to kill themselves together, and it was just going to be that on that. Now, this is the part this is where everything starts to really get crazy and starts to really get like mind-blowing, because her friend, instead of reaching out for help, you know, like, oh, my friend wants to kill herself. They're doing a suicide pact, everybody. Can we please get some help? You know what I'm saying? She was like, I can help. I can help. Now, people may say, like, in her friend's defense, she thought it was a suicide pact, which means they both were, like, willingly going to do it. Anu told her that Joe had no idea about it. That's the problem. See, y'all always jump to the conclusion. Y'all always talking about something. Oh, well, this. No, she knew that Joe did not know. So basically, she got this. I'm about to read this, y'all, because I try not to read on camera, but I got to read this word. Rifanol. I think it's called Rifanol. If it's not, don't judge me. But basically, the girl said that she could get her Rifanol, which is a drug that can literally knock you out. Like, you're gone. So basically, she was like, I can hook you up some Rifanol, so that way you can do it while he's asleep. You know, he'll be dead asleep. You can just and be done. You know what I'm saying? She basically told her everything, that, like, the whole plan. Ended up telling her friend that she wanted to do it in a way like a party, a dinner party. And this is where, I know I keep saying this is where it gets crazy, but this is where my mind was like truly blown, because not only was it one person, but her friend got multiple people to join this dinner party. Everybody at that dinner party knew that Joe was a goner. And later they said, when they were interviewed, they said they didn't know she was serious. Who plays like that? Like, if y'all, I had to put my feet up because I'm scared. It hurt me because this could have been prevented if somebody just said something. Or if somebody made a joke about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they knew that Joe didn't know. But like, I don't know. Like, if somebody just joked about it, or if one person just didn't get the memo, if I was there, Joe would have been alive. And I'm gonna say that right now, because one thing about me, I don't get the memo. One thing about me, I'm gonna be confused. And it might bother people, but I could have saved the life that day. So when they get home from this whole dinner farewell party, basically, she spiked his drink with the Rifanol, and it was, I think she gave him 2 tablets of the Rifanol. He was out like a light. He was gone. Okay, he was dead asleep, mind his business. So this is actually really sad, because he actually got lucky the first time around when she didn't inject it properly. It was like a lot of complications with the whole whole process of her doing it. Ended up waking up the next day, and they said that he just felt like, you know how you would feel if you drunk a lot, like a hangover. So since it didn't work the first time, she decided that she was going to throw another dinner party with the same people, same friend, and do the same process over again. So again, he goes to this party not thinking anything of it. He's mingling, he's having a good time, he's drinking, he's laughing, he's cackling in these people's face. These people cackling in his face, and they could have saved his life. Like, all y'all need to be in jail, all of them. So this time it actually ends up working, obviously. She actually distributes the heroin into him properly, gave him the same thing she did last time, repeats the process, Rifonol, knocked out cold, and she actually does it right this time. So he wakes up the next day hanging on a thread. This is the part that's actually devastating. Like, that part with the people, the whole dinner party thing was crazy, but this part is very sad and like devastating. He woke up the next day, but he was on his he was on a thin piece of ice. She watched him take his last breath. She watched him beg her to take him to the hospital while she just kind of brushed it off. And like, it took him 2 days to actually die. So she sat in his house with him. She didn't leave the house. She just sat in the house with him and watched him die. And not once did she say, first of all, not once did she say, oh, it's my turn. You know what I mean? This supposed to be a suicide pact, but we all know what she really wanted to do. She didn't want this to be a suicide pact. She just didn't want him to leave her in his own way. You know what I mean? Like, she'd rather kill him than have him leave her willingly. She called her friend, basically telling her the situation, and the friend like, why are you calling me? Call the people, call the police, call the ambulance, you know, something like that, call the paramedics. And she like, I don't want to call them, I don't want to do that, blah blah blah. And her friend basically called her a selfish female dog. So she ended up convincing her to call the paramedics by saying something along the lines of, either you call them and they'll save his life, or you can go to jail for murder. She ended up calling paramedics. Now they said that while she was on the phone, she was very like all over the place. At one point she would be like very calm and like, yeah. And then she would start boo-hooing all of a sudden, you know what I mean? While she was on the phone, she refused to give them the actual address, which is crazy to me. Get off my phone. Go ahead and decline the call for me. So she finally ended up giving them the real address, and they came and they found Joe, this is so sad. They found Joe butt naked, booty ball naked, laying out. Oh, I shouldn't say that. That's insensitive, ain't it? They found Joe laid out on the floor naked with brown liquid coming out of his mouth. They couldn't save him because the brown stuff that was coming out of his mouth was blocking his airway or something. They couldn't get in his airway to actually get the stuff up out of him, so he ended up dying on the scene. They said that Anu was very like all over the place, like she was on the phone, be pacing back and forth, and then she would start boo-hooing, and then she would look around the room to see if people were looking at her. And this is what this is what his parents was talking about when they said she's like the attention type of thing, because this man is literally dying or dead on the floor. They can't save this man. They're trying their hardest to save this man, but they can't save this man. And you're sitting here crying, boo-hooing, fake, no tears. They said it was no tears coming out her eyes. She was just fake crying, making the crying noises, and then looking around to make sure people was looking at you. They bring Anu in for questioning, and they said that she kind of just started snitching on herself, trying to basically deflect what she did. So she was basically trying to put all the blame on him and make him seem like a bad person and give reasons to why she had the right to kill him, basically. The friend actually would also end up being questioned, and she went on trial. And first they had trials together. They asked for a judge-only trial because we all know if they had a jury, is that what it's called, a jury? Yeah. You're done, you know what I mean? So they ended up having trials together at first, and then they moved to separate trials. And Anu basically pled for insanity. Let me get some tea, because this is where the tea start coming in. You know what I'm saying? She actually pled for insanity. Now, while she's pleading for insanity, and she basically explaining her mental health, her friend is in her trial telling the judge that Anu said out her own mouth that it would be easy for her to plead for insanity because she's familiar with psychology and law, and she knows what they look for to basically have somebody plead for insanity. Yeah. While she's in questioning, it's a Sunday, and Joe's parents usually get a call from Joe on Sundays. They didn't get a call from him, so they were like, they kind of brushed it off. They kind of put it to the side because, he could be busy. They don't know what he's doing up there. Around 5 o'clock when they finally call him, because it's 5 o'clock now. What you doing? What you doing? You know what I'm saying? So they call him, and instead of him picking up, it's a police officer. So while this police officer is on the phone, they get a knock on their door, and it's another police officer, and they're basically there to tell him about her son. They explain the situation, and off the bat, the mother already knew who did it. she already knew it was Anu. She's like, she started yelling out, she killed him. So you told your son, you was like, you had something off, it was something off about her, and he moved away, far away from you, and it's nothing you could have done to prevent it because he's not here. It was, yeah, it's very devastating because they knew something was up with this girl. They did not like this girl, and she ended up killing their son. She was supposed to serve 10 years with 4 years of parole, and instead she actually served 18 months. And while she was in jail, she actually finished her PhD. Do you have a PhD in criminology? Because one source said PhD, and then the other one said she ended up getting her degree in criminology. So I don't know if you can get a PhD. I don't really know a lot about college. I'm 16, child. I don't know a lot, but I'm gonna just say that I'm just gonna go with PhD. She ended up actually writing a thesis, which I still don't know what that is. I meant to look that up, so I'm gonna put it on the screen. But she ended up writing a thesis about women who commit crimes and why they do what they do, which really made me mad because you just killed somebody who did nothing to, like, this man. It was your fault. You know what I mean? Like, this man had every right to pack up and leave you because you were doing too much. Nobody want to deal with that all day. I don't blame Lil JoJo. I don't blame him. You just, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you writing a story about why women kill and what they do, like that ain't got nothing to do with you. You are not a part of that. They said it's an ebook now. It was conjured into an ebook, and it's called Offending Women. That's what it's called. So she's out now. She only served 18 months. 18 months out of 10 years. She's for a brutal crime, like a crime. It would be one thing if she just shot somebody, but this was like she watched this man die for 2 whole days, didn't even try to get him no help, and then you sat here, like, while she was in the interrogation room, she was sitting there like blubbering with her like hands around her on her face, like she was sobbing, but she wasn't crying, like she didn't have any tears. She was fake crying again, and she kept looking through her fingers to see if anybody was paying her any attention. Like, she's crazy. She did, like, this wasn't something that she just did off of impulse. Like, this is something that she conjured up. She tried it not once but twice, and it passed the second time. When she saw it didn't work the first time, she didn't think, oh, it's fake. No, she decided to do it again, and she did it for real this time. Like, this is some crazy stuff. This isn't something that you just get off with. You know what I'm saying? And then do you think about the parents? Like, imagine how the parents feel. Like, she got 18 months. That's not even a full 2 years. She got 18 months. And then what? And she got her PhD, and she writing books. 18 months. 18 months. She got her PhD, and she wrote a book. And this man is dead. And his parents, they say nobody wants to outlive their children. These parents had to outlive their child. And she is out here having 18 months of her 10-year sentence and writing books and getting her PhD. Alright, y'all, that's all I have for y'all today. I'm mad. If you like these type of videos, I will definitely be doing more because I have so much. Like, I love these. Like, I love talking about them. I love getting my opinion on stuff. That's not wanted. Comment what you thought about this story, because I would love to hear you guys' opinions and what y'all think. I will hit you guys back with a new video soon.